Yes.
Salutations, you foes. This is your fearless leader, the Queen of Shade, coming at you with a special presentation. I have been enjoying interviewing and getting to know the people that support me, uplift me, follow me, and just have come into my life and done amazing things, uplifted me in ways that I just would not have been uplifted if it were not for these people. So I have a special presentation for you today. I would like to introduce you to Miss Tiara Latrese. Did I get it right?
Yes. Hi.
Okay. Now I need you to understand. So say hi.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
I love your glasses, but we'll get to those in a second.
Oh my God.
I want you to understand why this interview is so important. If you've been watching my interviews, Miss Latrese is the first woman that I have interviewed. And I mean, since I started this series, there's a reason for that. I had to do something special because this woman was the first woman to interview me when I was coming up as a queen of shade. And after people saw this woman interview me, then they started jumping on the bandwagon like, oh, well, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. But Miss Latrese started it all. So talk to us. Tell me what's going on in your life today.
Okay, so things are wonderful.
Right.
Things are at Godspeed. I'm thankful. I'm in the midst of rebranding myself.
Right. Yeah.
I'm excited about that because, things are always changing. We're always changing. So now I'm in this creative space, this do-it-yourself space, but I feel really blessed with everything that's happening now.
Right now, tell them right now. So you're rebranding and you have this new podcast and new brand. What's the name? I love it because I love the graphic. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing. What's the name of the new brand and that kind of stuff. Tell us.
Okay, so I'm already a content creator on YouTube. I changed it from my previous name, which was the Shaka LaBelle Show.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm rebranding as myself. So the YouTube channel is called the Tiara Latrese Show, but my podcast is my baby again. Okay. So the title of it is Alien Gang Podcast with Tiara Latrese. Okay, so I have to explain the history behind aliens.
Go ahead.
So,
got it.
So aliens to me represent something different, something that people don't understand. It's like they always want to try to find out everything they can about it, but it's like you'll never know the core of what an actual alien really is.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say it's like this scary thing. Some people think it's this, phenomenal, out of this world thing. It's everything you think about an alien plus more. So this is where we dig into the crux of issues that we have been surrounded with our entire lives. This is where we deal with social issues, a little bit of like celebrity stuff here and there, but it has to relate to something that's a life lesson. So that's where we are right now with the podcast. I get to be more creative. I don't have to stay in a certain bracket and I can speak from my heart. So that's ultimately what this podcast is.
And you know what's so funny? I love it because what you do, you just said it, but I have heard you speak to the issues of today. I'm getting goosebumps. You literally sit and you discuss the issues of today. And what I love is that you are unapologetic about it. If it's bad shit and it went down, you're going to tell us that it was bad shit and it went down. And I love that about you. You have this approach to broadcasting that is just like a breath of fresh air.
I appreciate it.
Because what it is, because I had to get dressed. I had to do all of this, but even me, I'm authentic, but I don't tackle every single situation like the Boosie situation, the Nas situation, all this stuff that we hear in the blogs and things like that. And I have listened to your work and really like learned what was really going on behind the scenes. And what I love is you come at it from multiple different points of view. That's a gift, because a lot of people can't see past their own point of view.
Right.
Absolutely. But you are able to see all the points of view. And I say that to you because I want to tell them, when I met you, I had a vision. And in this vision, you were a very uber successful broadcaster. You were sitting in upstate New York in one of those very, very large homes, and you were looking out your front bay window. And your baby was running to the little school bus and getting on that bus. And even in that vision, I saw and heard your thoughts. You couldn't believe that after all of this time, you made it to that place and were successful, and that everything you saw, the land, the house, belonged to you.
Right.
And I still see it. I want you to know I still see it. And I want to uplift you, because there's something you did for me last year at the end of the year. And I have to tell you, you interviewed me again, and I was so glad to be even on your show again. But you really gave me flowers. And you said, I want to give you your flowers while I can. And I'm going to try not to get emotional, but at that time, I interviewed and smiled and did everything, but my brand was in jeopardy at that time. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to continue. I'd had a huge fight with my investor, and they pulled out, and my company went bankrupt.
Right.
And nobody knew that. And yet and still, you brought me on your show. And you reminded me of the greatness that was inside of me, of the potential, and of the actual work that was being done. And you didn't even know that I was very suicidal at that time.
Wow.
Because my work is everything to me. I have sacrificed, you know, because your work is the same. I have sacrificed so much to do this. Family members, friends, life, money. Like, for the last 5.5 years, I've been in entertainment for 20 years, but for the last 5.5, I've been chained to this desk in my room, working, trying to create a way out of an impossible situation.
Right.
Being mentally ill, having bipolar type 1, PTSD, and acute anxiety. I am not able to work a normal job. It's too stressful. Right. It's too stressful. I then also am a very severe introvert. They call me an extroverted introvert, because I can give you a show, but I always have to return to me. But no one knew how much, or in how much jeopardy my brand was. And I really wanted to take all of my medicine and get in my bed. And then you asked me to come and speak to your people again, and didn't even know that that was what I was dealing with. And I came, and I'll never forget it. What really helped to pull me out of it was that one of your supporters asked, how do you conquer fear?
Right. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. And the message that came through me from the divine pulled me out of what I was feeling. And that answer was, you can't conquer fear. Fear is a natural emotion. It will always be with us. What you can do is be brave, and in the face of fear, still act.
Yes.
That saved my life. Saved my life. So I had to plan a special way to bring you on where I could say thank you, because broadcasting isn't easy for you or me.
Right.
It's expensive, and we still got to try to live our lives, and we're not rich yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
And it's like, but we have these great gifts and these great abilities, and we have to use them. Because even when we try to take off, I remember you took some time off, you had to return to it.
Yeah.
You had to return to it. It was the same way for me. It was
because you know my story, because when you talk about wanting to give up, remember I started podcasting originally after losing my mom to suicide.
Yeah.
And podcasting was the only way that I was really able to talk or even be able to figure out who I was again. Now, the thing that was so crazy about that beginning journey was that I was supposed to start before 2018.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have the motivation to do it yet. I had the app set up. I was like, okay, I can talk about this, that, and the third, but there was really nothing motivating me. It really took for me to go through the worst tragedy of my life, the worst year of my life, losing my mom, losing my grandfather. Like, it was just a year of like, what the hell is going on here? Like, did I do something wrong? Is it me? Am I like what is happening? Is it the family? What is going on? And then even continuing on that journey, it's like, I knew what the potential was, but I had lost so many parts of myself because I was still trying to heal. Yes. And I didn't know that then. I didn't know that the things that made me angry or enraged or wanting to give up or just not feeling all the support that I needed, letting people, places, things, circumstances embed itself in my brain to where I became somebody I didn't know. Mm-hmm. And then it just hit me one day. And it's crazy, like when you get in your 30s, like I don't know what it is about your 30s. Right. It's like life just starts looking back at you. And you're like, well, what are you going to do with this? Like, what is it that you really want? Do you want to be the one that's accepted by everybody? Or do you just want to be you and let the positive energy come in? And then when I met you, even in the midst of it, it's like you gave me this motherly vibe. You gave me this, like, I'm going to be uplifting on purpose vibe. And that's what really drew me to you. And there's not a lot of people like you or even like me out there. It's like, yeah, we can lose sight. We can lose hope. We can lose ourselves, but it doesn't mean you can't get yourself back. Yeah. And that's something that I learned from you. That's something that I learned from digging deeper in myself, letting certain things go, people departing from me, and understanding, like, listen, this is happening for a reason. You got to get you back, because if you don't, you're going to lose yourself forever. And I already lost too much. Yes. I can't lose me.
Yes.
I can't lose me.
I want you to know this is so difficult. I'm running, my makeup is running.
Wait, no, don't wipe them. No. You got to stay fabulous. I'm holding tears back.
I'm trying. Because people don't understand. I didn't know all of that. I knew how you talked about your mother, but to see you still be a beacon of hope and to honor her memory by being motherly yourself, like, Tiara, people aren't doing that today.
I know.
Everybody is about what's trending. Everybody is about what's relevant. Everybody is about what will earn them $1 right now. Nobody's thinking about how, and I'm gonna just say this, how white people make money. Because what they do is they create that content, and they got it up front, but they plan to use that content and milk the shit out that content for 40 years. Like, that's why I tell people, like, people used to think I was crazy. I'm like, listen, I'm over here struggling, and there's kids going to school because their parents fried some potatoes, put it in a bag, put their name on it, called it her, and seasoned it. And it's put all of them through school. I'm over here struggling, but there's literally a family who squashed tomatoes, squeezed them up, put them in a jar, put their name on it, Heinz, like I used to really be like these people are living their best lives. We'll never see a Black person. We'll never see a Black person. And it's like on their street for anything. And it's like, and it also motivated me because it was like, listen, I got to do something like that. I got to think of something. It's got to be something. And I love that you even said it. I could not lose myself. Tiara, so long in this industry of entertainment. I've been in this industry for 20 years. Starting, I didn't know who the fuck I was. I got therapy 14 years ago. Yes, that's when I started to get into who I was. But that is still a very ongoing situation, an ongoing investigation. And I just love the fact that the divine has connected me to strong ass people. And the funny thing is, most of them are Black women. And I must say, I thank you for that, because there is you and a few other Black women who don't see this as a threat, who don't see this as an encroachment on who you are and what you need to be. Child, get your own. Don't you know you a man? Like, I don't get that from y'all. This is an art form for me. We've talked about this. I've known since I was a little boy that I was going to be a transvestite. I am not transgender. I'm a boy in a dress. I have enjoyed cross-dressing since I was about 9 or 10 years old. I have always loved pretty things. I made sure I kept my body a certain way. Corona destroyed it. I'm trying to get it back, but I have to buy bigger gowns right now, but that's all right. That's fine. But, you know, I didn't get that flack from you. No. I didn't get that, and from a lot of Black women. And listen to this. I'm gonna be very brutally honest. When I first started going viral with the Queen of Shade and they were 15 seconds, I was like, this isn't the audience that I want, because I had nothing but Black women. And I've always honored a Black woman, but I was like, this is for the gay community. This is ours. And I remember making the mistake, but it was a mistake that needed to be made. And I said it to my vocal coach. My vocal coach is a very talented white woman. And I said, I got the wrong audience, and this is not what I'm after. I'm trying to get to, Europe, and I'm trying to go to Paris, and I'm trying to do this, and I'm trying to do that, and I got to get the gays with money, and I got to get this. And I slipped and said, and all I have right now is Black women. You should have seen that white woman's face. Let me tell you something. I am the Queen of Shade today because I watched Black women read. I've watched women read, but Black women will put you in your place. But get this. So I'm talking to her on the phone, and my grandmother spins around and looks at me, and I put the phone on speaker, and she said, why wouldn't you want to empower Black women? Why wouldn't you want to uplift Black women if they embrace and identify with you? Why wouldn't you want to be a leader and a hero to Black women? And I was like, I never said it again. Well, let me tell you something. I never made that mistake again. And today I enjoy many demographics, but to this day, the women that really uplift me, the women that put their money where their mouth is, you subscribe to my podcast. I get money from you. I'm like, I didn't get money from a lot of people. I'm like, what? Like Black women have held me down. Right? Held me down. So I want to ask you, as a fully fledged, powerful Black woman holding me down and so many other people, here comes a question. How do you do it every day when you have to deal with not losing you at the same time? How the hell do you manage to be that kind of power and be a mama to your son and what you need to be to family members and friends? How? Because people are looking at me like I'm some kind of superhero. No, sweetie. If I'm a superhero, then Black women are God.
Okay.
God is a Black woman. How? How do you manage to do that?
You know what? I'm going to be so transparent right now. It's going to scare me. I remember when I was younger, right? And this is just, whew, my mother's clearly near me right now, but
I feel her presence too.
I remember when my mom was pregnant with my brother. And I remember how sick she was. Like when I say from first trimester, probably all the way to a portion of the last trimester, I watched her get up. I watched her be sick every day. I've seen mornings where she was so sick to where she couldn't pick herself off the floor. And I was about 4 or 5 years old around this time. But I watched her go through all of that stuff in the morning, afternoon, still get up to cook dinner, still help me with homework, still get me to school, still try to make sure that I was still having some kind of childhood. And that continued on for so many years because she would go through her own, you know, mental health struggles and all that stuff. And I watched her go through a lot of that when nobody else was around. I watched it happen. You know, my younger brother watched it happen. And it was very difficult for us to see that without having any knowledge of how to handle it. So we literally had to go in with both feet, both hands, full brain, full body, and try to figure out, what do we do here? How do we figure this out? Like what do we do? Like, what strength do we even have? And then I remember before my mom passed, it was just one day, it was just me and her in the house. And she says, you know what? I just want to tell you that you're strong. And I'm like, Ma, how do you see strength in me? She said, it just was always something. I always knew you were strong. And everybody sees it. And this was at a very low point in life because I was still trying to figure myself out, still trying to go through the motions day in, day out, working all this, like just going through a whole bunch of stuff. Some things were in my control, some things were not in my control, making a whole bunch of mistakes, making a whole bunch of errors, acting on emotion and anger, allowing influences to put the wrong ideas and formations inside of my head. So the strength has to come from 30 plus years of living. Me wanting to put something forth in this world that says, I don't have to be who I used to be. I'm not the woman that I was yesterday. And the woman that I'm going to be tomorrow may not even still be the same person. It may be a more enlightened, uplifted version of myself. And that is continuous work. It's not like you just say it and boom, it happens. It doesn't work that way. And I had to learn that too. Like, you don't just get to sit back and say, I want this to happen, and it's just going to magically appear. It takes for you to do a lot of work. And right now where I'm at, I feel like mentally I'm the strongest I've been in a long time, because I can look in the mirror and say, okay, you did this right, you did this wrong, you messed up here, you did good here. I'm able to finally differentiate a false reality and what's really happening, getting grounded, learning from mistakes, and saying to myself, like, I don't want to keep repeating the same cycles. That's something that a lot of Black people do, including myself. We've been in this conditioned form of repeating the same mistakes or similar mistakes to that of what came before us. And we cannot continue to allow that to happen. And if I have to mess up a whole bunch of times in order to serve as an example to other people, like, listen, you don't want to do this. You don't want to act on anger. You don't want to be vengeful. You don't want to let people see your void. You want to fill your own void. You want to love yourself. You want to trust that God, the divine, and all the good things that are out there going to fill that emptiness for you. You just got to keep going. So my strength comes from change. It comes from assurance. It comes from manifesting, having the proper love in my life that I need from myself first and foremost, and allowing everything else to just take its course. That's really where my strength comes from.
This is the hardest interview I've done. I'm losing it. I just can't. This is the hardest interview I've done, because I hope you know how powerful you are. I really want you to know how powerful you are. And I want you to know that that power is going to take you so far. You've been through so much. We've talked. You've been through so much, and you still get up and shine that light on issues that need to be talked about, on people, on your son. Like you just, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, it's so crazy because I didn't have my father. My father, I remember, I have early memories of 2 years old. My mother would, we lived in the projects. My father lived in like projects, but it was housing. We lived in the high rise. So she would come down from the high rise carrying me, and she would put me down in the concrete parking lot. And I remember that he would be in the distance, and he would stoop down, and I would run to him. And that was like one of the earliest memories I had of him. And I remember visiting his house, and he had a lot of dogs. I'm a cat person, but he had a lot of dogs, and they were chained up on the stairs. He had them chained up on the stairs in his house. And I was scared to go by him up and down. And he'd be like, they're not going to bother you. They're not going to bother you. But then he totally, Tiara, he disappeared from my life. And I found him as an adult. And for him to basically reject me because I was gay, but tell me, I know you're going to be a big star one day anyway. You cut me and praised me at the same time.
Right.
And a lot of Black people, they do that to me, to you, to anybody who is, like you said, alien, otherworldly, different, not the norm, not the usual mold. Anybody trying to go against the grain, it's like we're killed and killed and killed and killed and killed. And you don't have to die a physical death to be murdered. You can die a social death, an economic death, a spiritual death. You can die so many deaths. And my mother was on drugs. So I didn't have those two people in my life. And all of my life, I found and I was led to people that had maternal spirits. I didn't too much care about my father. I was like, let that man rot wherever he is. But my mother, you know, it was just like, and I don't, to this day, I don't know her. She did drugs for 25 years of my life. I am 39, only 39. She did drugs 25 years of my life. And literally, she has been clean 7 or 8 years now. And that is solely because she had a stroke after a bad trip and had to be put in an assisted living facility where she no longer had access to drugs, and her right side is completely paralyzed. Jesus. Exactly. And I'm just going to be very, like you said, transparent. My family has always treated me like I was a burden. They have never treated me like they wanted me. And I've never told anybody that, not even my therapist. But I don't even care that this camera is here. I can talk to you. Absolutely. They never. Even starting this. Oh, he think he's something. Oh, he full of himself. Oh, he need to give it up. Don't he know he crazy? He got all the mental illnesses. He need to be in a sanitarium. Oh, he ain't making no real money from that. He ain't doing, like they just, and my grandmother was the only one who supported me and financially supported me. And they would call her every day and ask her why she was giving me her retirement, that she was making the wrong choice. I was so scared and lived in fear that my grandmother was going to A, either die, or B, stop investing in me, that I literally, with anxiety disorder, I couldn't sleep. My stomach would be in knots because I thought that she would listen to her children. And she ended up not being able to support me anymore. And we had a huge falling out about it. I'm like, we get this far and you want to drop me now? I was angry as hell. We screamed all over this house. And then, it was the issue of money and, well, you can't move out right now, so I still got to take care of you. So I want more money from you. And I'm just being candidly honest. And I'm like, you're going to get what you gave me. If I make millions of dollars, they're mine. You get your investment and maybe some, but you will not have access to everything that I have because I did this work. I sat in this room and I gave my life to this. And, her and we were able to talk about that. And that's what I love about her. We were able to, I said, everything I just said to you, I said to her.
Right.
We were able to come back together and the family was so excited about it because they thought we were split.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we split business-wise. I was later able to launch I'm waiting for my best friend to come on. I'm waiting for his day off because he's going to come on because my best friend, when she no longer could do because it just got too much. And I understand that now, my best friend invested thousands of dollars into me. Thousands. My best friend gave me thousands of dollars to keep my business. I was able to start a new company. The old one went bankrupt. I was able to jump right back up, start a new company and continue. My best friend did that for me, one person. And I used to get so mad, Tiara, because I would be like, I never get the droves of support. I get the ones and the twos. And I'm like, I need more if I'm trying to get to $100 million. I'm trying to get, but you know what I've learned? I've learned that things take time. And if you got one person in your corner, you better be thankful. It don't matter. Listen, it don't matter if I have to do this show in a shed in the backyard, because it's not about the money. It's about the gift that the divine has given me to bring enlightenment and shed light on this world. Right. And you have the same gift. And I have never felt more at ease talking to anybody than you. You have, and that's why I know. And my thing is, that's why I'm like, now, naturally things are changing. I got a lot of money coming to me. I got a lot of offers coming. And when those things happen, see, you get places in life, not just because of who you know as connection wise, but you get where you need to be in your life from your friends. Your friends will help you. I remember when a record executive, I sang for him and he said to me, he gave me the most bizarre advice. He said, don't sign here. He said, you don't need this record label. This record label will destroy everything that is good and innocent about you. He said, make friends. He said, and your friends will help to place you where you need to be. And I love that I did this work, not for me, but I was able to meet so many good people like yourself. You, and like, it just, I can count you guys on two hands, but I have good people that I met. And I'm glad it's only two hands, because hey, when I start shelling out money, I ain't got to shell out more than, it's like I get it's like, all right, I get to cap it. I ain't got to, and it's just, this journey has truly been eventful. And like even now, I started doing these interviews because one morning I woke up and I had to deal with some more internet bullshit, Instagram bullshit. People were basically reporting not the guys that I was showing. Now, mind you, I got half naked guys on my page. They didn't report that because they wanted to see that. They were upset and jealous at the fact that I had all of these videos and all of these messages from the divine. So they were reporting my actual content. So then Instagram sends me a message like, listen, we are going to shut your page down. Now, mind you, I got a blue check and everything. We're going to shut your page down. Yeah, we're going to shut your page down. So I was stressed out of my mind because I make my money through my network. So I woke up one morning and I said, you know what? If I stay on Instagram, they own me. And if I'm telling all of my following that you got to persevere and do it yourself, I can't let nobody own me. I got to own myself. So I sat up in my bed and I said, today I'm going to begin to delete all of my content and I am going to move to my website. Now, mind you, I had the website since 2013. I just never used it because Instagram was my largest platform.
Right.
But I realized I'm paying for all these firewalls. I'm paying for all this technical support, thousands of dollars. And these people, are there to assist me, and I'm not utilizing that. And I realized my site got hacked because we've talked about this. I got somebody in Hollywood that don't really care for me. And, she's done a lot of stuff over the years to me. And she used to always mess with the link on my Instagram page so that I couldn't make money. She always wanted to mess with the point of sale. So I realized I've been through like 6 or 7 links. Linktree didn't work. Flow page didn't work. I tried all in links. That didn't work. Like she would get them all shut down. Finally, she tried to go after a link that was actually my website's link. And it went down for about 8 hours. I called technical support. 8 hours later, it went back up. So I realized that I could fight her now through keeping everything through my own portal, my own hub. So I realized I got to leave Instagram anyway. But I didn't know if I was going to leave Instagram doing the same thing that I do. And I love the Queen of Shade. I've channeled 22,000 times and brought those videos. But I was like, I need something greater for the website. And literally, I was talking to my friend that I've known. He's also a New Yorker. You're from New York. I just want to throw that out there. If they want to know where they can find you, you're in New York. Yes. He's from New York. And he was talking to me. And he sparked me. And I said, you know what? I got to interview you right now. We have to have a conversation on camera so that people can just hear how we talk. And I did that. And the divine said, start doing that. So I said, okay, I'm going to start interviewing people for my website. And Tiara, it has been so amazing. Like to learn the stories of other people and what they think of me and how they think of me and how we can put our heads together to spark greatness. It has been amazing. My buddy Ty, his name is Ty Mitch. He's a MC reporter. I mean, a singer, rapper. He's in Jersey, but he's always in New York as well. But he wrote me and he called me and he said, this is a new Queen of Shade. He said, we never saw this much personality before. We never heard this outside of the script. He was like, this is going to bring you so much prestige. And I used to be like, no, I don't want to interview because they always expect the gay guys to be the hairstylist, to be the makeup artist, to be the gay best friend or the commentator, the reporter. And then I realized they want you to be the reporter because usually you guys are well-spoken.
Absolutely.
You guys are well-spoken and you can float between, demographics of people. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing this. And it has been an amazing opportunity. Amazing. So anyway, I want to segue because I want to keep crying. So on YouTube, first of all, shout out who came up with the idea for your artwork for your podcast and your YouTube channel.
Okay, so there's this lovely lady, and her name, you guys can find her on Instagram. Her name is Smooth Art Design Lab. She has a small channel on YouTube, but she does a lot of graphic work. And honestly, one day she just hit me up and says, I know how to do graphics. I would love to just do some graphics for you. And honestly, all the things that she does is just so personable. Yes. It's like, you don't really have to give her too much to work with. It's like, listen, alien theme, have it look something like me, let it reflect me. And it's just, ever since then, it's just, she's just been giving me amazing work to the point where I have like a whole file of all the things that she's done for me. And I'm like, I'm just going to use this and just give my own little twist here and there to just add my little personal touch. So thankfully, she's been able to get a lot of things done for me. She's amazing. She just creates strictly from her mind and her software and just goes the full mile. And everything she's made for me has just been amazing.
Say her name again.
Smooth Art Design Lab.
Smooth Art Design Lab. Okay.
Yes. I will send you her information when we get off of
Let me tell you something, because I saw that alien and she had the hair. I was like, yes! Like that was good. That was so good. It's so good. And I love it because whenever you do an audio, it's up there and you can see it radiating around. I'm like, oh, you better work. Like it's so good. So like, how is the channel doing? Like with you rebranding, is it going the way you need it to go?
Well, right now, I feel like I'm in the phase where people are like, okay, she did a lot of this before, but now she's doing a lot of this.
Okay.
I think people are trying to get accustomed to what the content is going to be like going forward.
Okay.
It's going to be less, celebrity tea lineup. It's going to be more of relatable discussions, which is why now I'm in the midst of clearing a lot of content, even certain content that was like, I'll say combative, like things that are just like me being enraged and angry. Like a lot of that stuff just has to go, because ultimately what I want the biggest lesson to be in regards to having my channel and doing the podcasting, I needed to be in alignment with where I am now.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff has to leave, and people now are like, there's different people that are watching it now, and they're like, like I like this content from you. It's like, we need more of this. And when I have personal conversations with people, it's like, listen, it took a minute for me to get here. I had to F up a lot. I had to make decisions that weren't the best. And I had to really sit back again and just look at myself and say, am I happy doing this? Am I happy feeling like I have to compete with everybody else that does the same thing as me? Do I want to feel like I have to do what everybody else does? Or do I really want to put the content in a perspective of being relatable?
Right.
Granted, when you have the social issues, like, when it comes to like these court cases and, just really going for the jugular, if I have to go for the jugular, I absolutely will.
Right.
But when we're dealing with real life, once the smoke clears from situations that are trending, even when it comes to, the judicial system and politics and all that stuff, there still has to be something that brings it all home. We still have to relate to the everyday person that may not have healed from childhood trauma, that may not have healed from, not knowing how to heal from losing someone that you love. So I'm like, I have to do something that is relatable to me. If your heart's not in something that you do, it's not going to be reflective.
Right.
So yeah, I could get the big number, hit 1K, 2K on a video for talking smack about a celebrity. But at this point, I'm okay with if a video that talks about relating to people gets a small number, because I know if I stay consistent,
it's going to
grow as I get rid of all the other stuff. So this is really a new chapter for me. It's like 2022 for me looks like the year where everything is finally going to make sense. I'm going to have the right people around me. I'm going to have the right support around me. I'm going to keep doing the work. So when people see it's consistent, like this is what you're going to be here for. If you're not here for this, then just go. If you are here for this and want to witness even my own growth as I'm on this path, then welcome aboard the spaceship. That's just what it is for me.
Yeah. Have you started writing your book yet?
Not yet.
An empowerment book?
Not yet.
You need to start. It's time. 2022 is going to be a big year for you. You need to start. I started mine. I did. I started mine the other night. I started on the first chapter, and it's crazy. I'm not gonna say the title. I'll tell you the title off camera because I don't want anybody to take my title. But yeah, but no, the book is totally different. Like it's not a memoir.
Okay.
It's like in the first chapter, it's like basically I start talking about stuff, and it's like I'm mad as hell, and because you bought this book, you are going to listen and read my anger and respect it. Like that's the standpoint of the book. It's like, but basically what it is in your face, unapologetically, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. But since you're here, and I know you're here, buy the book. And that's what's going on. But you need to start writing and get it. It's not a book of your life. It's not a book of your life. This book is an empowerment book that I'm seeing. It's one of many, but the idea behind it is, like you said, we need to follow our hearts. We need to do what's true to us. We need to, understand that. We need to, be relatable. We need like that kind of stuff. Yeah. And don't forget audio too, because I got to do audio. I'm going to do an audio version of it as well. Okay. Yeah. I have a friend who wrote a book. She will be on my, she will be on my she will be on this Tuesday. Yeah, I'm booked. Everybody want to talk to me. And what's so crazy? Everybody wants to talk to me because I worked for 5.5 years to establish my reputation and the fact that I knew something, So it's like, yes, we'll talk to you. And it's good. No one has said no. No one has said no. Everyone I've asked, they're like, I just have to fit it around my schedule. I just have to do this, but then we can make it happen. And I still got people like, and this is the thing. Now I'm getting the people in Africa. I have someone I'm booking next. She's a huge celebrity, like blogger in Africa, and like, so talented. She just won awards for social media. And I actually told her by the close of tonight, I will get back to her to book her for next week. Like people are, and that's the thing. And somebody said to me the other day, you keep selflessly giving to other people. You keep shining. And my thing is, you do that because you did that with me. You didn't even know how low I was. And I did that and get it. Could have very easily done that amazing interview, gotten to bed and never was heard from again.
Right.
But the whole thing about fear, they asked that question and it pulled me out of that stupor. And that's what I wanted people to know, that even after 14 years of therapy and medication, it ain't cured. You deal with it and you fight it every single day. And now in this day and age, it's not just the clinical stuff. Everybody's dealing with some sort of mental duress because of what the world is like, what the world is like. So asking that question, like saying that, I want to ask you a question. I was on Instagram yesterday, and it was the D.L. Hughley. He was the one that posted it on his page. I just want to get the guy's name real quick. Hold on. Let me get the guy. Let me grab the guy's name. Hold on. Where is it? D.L. Hughley. Let me see. Did I over here? Okay. Stars, I hate when they do that. I gotta go to his page. Sorry, give me a sec.
No problem.
Yeah, but I do like being able to pull up stuff while I'm talking. It's not on my phone. DL. Child, didn't even pull DL Hughley up. Come on now. I'm like, come on. Okay, is that Child, that ain't even him. Well, listen. Well, okay. I'm gonna ask you the question. I'll find out. I'll tell you later. But what happened was there was this commentator, and basically the gist of it, I'm gonna send it to you. Basically, the gist of it was there was a woman that he was arguing with. The commentator was Caucasian as well, but he was saying, stop demonizing Black people. Stop calling them savages and wild animals, because he said there is no one more savage than our ancestors. We took babies from their mothers. We sold them as property. We raped women and men and killed and pillaged a whole, demographic of persons. And I just listened to him, and he was like, stop talking about, the violence that they do, and start talking about the violence that was done to them because of what they have and the lack of resources. They get violent. And he was going off. Like when I tell you he was going off. So my question to you is, I know that you cover a lot of like, well, you're doing more stuff now, you're going in a different direction, but I know you cover stuff where you talk about the plight, the plight of our people. How do you feel about us being called savage or wild when Caucasians are the most savage people we have ever seen on the globe? So that's the question, because I know you give good on that. Go ahead. Okay. I'm shutting up. Go ahead.
Water, right? I'm
okay.
gonna sip this water because this is where it's about to get real.
Oh, yes. Here we go.
Oh, people that are not Black.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you this question, and I really hope that you can answer this from a pure heart, clear conscience, and really understand where this is about to go. Let's refer to a book first. Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl. Okay. This is a book that I have read with my son. We are almost done reading it, right? Mm-hmm. And in this book, it gives the detailed explanation of what a Black female slave went through in regards to her slave master gaining back her children and finding her way to her own freedom. Okay, I'm going to send you the title of this book because you guys can read it for free online, or you can order it on Amazon if you want your own personal copy. Okay, so these are the questions that I would like to ask. Okay, how would you feel if you were snatched away from the purity of your essence, your spirituality, your homeland, your language, your lineage? How would you feel stuck on a boat, not knowing who's going to live or who's going to die? How would you feel being placed in a home that's not your own, being forced to work for less than pennies on the dollar, being beaten, be enslaved, your own children not being even able to be claimed as your own, for them to be taken from you and sold to another master to possibly work on another plantation, and running the risk of either being put in a more detrimental situation where you can't even control when they sleep, when they eat, when they wake up, not being able to tend to them when they are ill? How would you feel if you lost touch with your native language, if you were called a witch or a demon because you didn't worship the Christian God, the white Jesus, in the church? How would you feel if your holiday, the one holiday that we have for our people, Kwanzaa, was treated as less than a significant meaning of a holiday, but white Santa and Easter bunnies get all the glory? No true acknowledgement. We had to fight for years to get Juneteenth to be established as a real holiday. But July 4th, where we had people go to war for a country that never served us much will, much good, much freedom, we have to fight for and bear less than most of the fruits that we've died and fought for. How would you feel if every day when you walked outside your house, or your children, especially your Black male children, walked outside the house, have to fear whether or not a police officer that doesn't necessarily like Black folk may hem them up against a gate, a brick wall, arrest them for the color of their skin, and plant drugs on them to meet their quota for the month? How would you feel if your child, your family living in the urban neighborhoods that they threw at our feet for us to manage and just hope that we can have access to the medicine, food, and water that we need in order to stay sustained? Every single where you turned, funding was being taken. Do you guys remember how long it took for even the people of Flint, Michigan to even get their water crisis acknowledged?
Right.
We're given less than what we put into this land. We're viewed as criminals, as savages, as demons, as evil people, not knowing that we are literally embodying the very treatment you gave us. But where did it? You turned us into these savages. You took a role in it. Now, it's not to say that as Black people, we can't take back what we were taken from, that we can't regain our center, that we can't tap back in to what it is that makes us powerful. That's something that every single Black person has the power to do. But again, the same way Every Black person doesn't want that. The same way other nationalities don't always want unity. But for the ones that want it, fight harder for it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see change, be it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to embody something meaningful, implant it in the seeds that you plant first within yourself, and then work that through your family, your lineage, your neighbors, your friends. Yeah. But not for 1 second can you generally label me, a Black woman, pure Black lineage, maybe a little sprinkle of other nationalities somewhere in the bloodline, but that's all of us. Mm-hmm. But with that melanin that flows through our veins, there's also pain.
Yeah.
There's lessons.
Yeah.
There's things that we still have to fight for. There's still freedoms we have to fight for. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to tell you people that are not of my people this very one thing, and I hope and pray you do not take this the wrong way. The pain of my ancestors was never buried in the grave. It's still alive and well. And when we truly grab a hold of that pain and turn it into projection of positivity and embody that in our day-to-day lives, you can spew all this negativity all you want. Yeah. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Do you believe that if we keep going the way that we're going, do you think we'll possibly see a race war?
Yes.
See, I was asked the same question, and I needed to ask somebody that I knew was seriously on that level.
But the thing is, we're also at war with our own race.
Yeah.
It's not so much I worry about the other races, being at war with us. I'm very much more concerned with us being at war with ourselves, which is why, again, I had to take a step back, because I don't want to be remembered as the Black woman that constantly wants to attack my own people, even though sometimes we do some dumb-ish.
Dumb-ish, yeah. You can say it.
Yeah. But nonetheless, I don't want it to always be that that's the only thing that I'm capable of talking about. I want to be able to explore all the options and alternatives. Like, yes, there's going to be some things that we just got to talk about and go for the jugular. But then it's also got to be some nurturing that comes from us. Like, okay, if you try to put your hand too close to the fire, you tap the person's hand, but it's like, I'm explaining to you why I tapped your hand.
Yeah.
But something has to change. And if people stay on the same mindset of wanting to be angry or wanting to be the top dog, like, that's the one thing I don't think anyone needs to really focus on. You don't need to be at the top of the top, because that makes you more of a target.
No.
The idea is to form some kind of collective where we support each other.
Yeah.
We don't view each other as competition. Like, I'm coming from the place where I had a whole person take a story from me and grow it to a magnitude that is not so much beneficial as focusing on the topic that's going to, empower other women, but it's now become a story of profit, which is something that I feel like it never needed to turn to. But I have since stepped back from that story, which could have put me over the top if I stuck with it. I'm like, this is too much. And in that, I became angry. I wanted this person to be exposed. Like, that was my mindset. You understand what I'm saying? But then it's like, when you start to see all this division and arguing and people, having the same mindset as you, but it's going to shit.
Yeah.
You have to really say, okay, like, this wasn't supposed to go this way.
Yeah.
And I became the very thing I hated. That's a bad thing, to become the very thing you hate. So now I have to sit back and say, you know what? This fell apart for a reason. It wasn't supposed to happen. It was not a good thing. And in that, some people's feelings got hurt. Some, arguments and division came by. It's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in any way a part of that. I want to have it to be where we take these seeds and we use to really support each other. And that's the opposite of what was happening. So now I'm in that reflective space. Like, everything that I've ever fought for, every innocent Black person that I know is sitting in jail right now doing life, should a person like where I was at speak for them? A person that was giving a platform to speak to survivors, where I was at, should I be speaking to survivors? Like, no, I got to change some stuff, because this is what I'm really passionate about.
But you know something? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but this is my thing. And I love that you brought that up, because my thing is this. I grew up in the hood. I didn't grow up in the hood. I started in the hood, and I moved at 10 years old to the suburbs, and I was given, access to better education, but shit was still crazy at home because we were struggling like shit. But this is my thing. They always tell us not to get mad. Don't get mad. Don't. You showing. That's not how you do it. And I feel like they do that to us because they're scared that we're going to clock. I said this today to my grandmother. They tell us that we're savage and we're mad and we're angry because literally they fear that we're getting ready to clock them over their head.
Right.
Like my thing is, when are you going to let us be angry? Like I hear what you're saying, but you need to let us be angry. And some people need to, no, let me not say that. See, I almost said some shit. No. But see, even it's bred into us. Oh, that if you are of a certain caliber or a certain level, you don't act like that. It's uncivilized. But it's like, when do you allow us to be angry? Like, do you know, like, oh, so many people of this color are being killed, apprehended, slaughtred. Jennifer Lewis, the actress.
I love her.
Yes, I do too. She said, I'll never forget, success, the elevator to success is broken, take the stairs. But she helped to executive produce a story about a young teenage boy found in the gymnasium of his school missing organs. They stuffed him with newspaper.
Yes. Kendrick Johnson, absolutely.
Tiara.
Yeah.
We don't kill our own and take their organs.
Right.
So who's coming into our communities where our babies are going to school and killing them and taking their organs? Who's doing that? That's not us. And yet and still they want to tell us, don't get angry. You must show self-control, because if you don't show self-control, you're a savage.
Right.
And I'm like, and this is sad because I have many friends of different races, but the face of evil is the face of purity in this world.
Yes.
The most purest face, the purer you look, the more evil you can hide.
Right.
And I'm not for it, because that's true. If you look all celestial and you do this and you do that, how many times we got to hear about politicians being found in the rooms of underage prostitute women? Like how much do we have to find that the CIA and all this shit covers up? How much do we have to find? Like it's like the higher you move up. Look, okay, all right, here we go.
But that's the thing. It's like, I have the mind state now where it's like, you have to be mindfully militant.
Mm-hmm.
See, the thing is, I feel like we could be more effective if we broke ourselves into groups.
Yeah.
So you could have the thing where you have one set group that is responsible for researching, learning, and really getting in touch with what our rights are supposed to be. Because a lot of people don't know the different parts of the Constitution or the laws that they passed while we're sleeping.
That wasn't written for us, though.
Right.
We were property at that time.
Right. We have to like be in a state of education. Like there has to be one set group for that. Mm-hmm. Once you get to the education part, then you get to the militant aspect. That knowledge has to be spread in a way where it's not noticeable. You understand what I'm saying? Like there has to be a game plan. Then once you get the education part down, you want to be able to be like how it is if you were like on a debate team.
Yes.
Like, let them say what they want to say. Okay, well, you're saying this. Well, how about this? Like, okay, you want to keep going? How about this? Like, literally, you put me in debate with someone that wants to sit here and compare black on black crime to that of police brutality and racism. It's like 9 times out of 10 because of how much research I've done. Mm-hmm. And the thing that's so sad about it's not white people that are doing it, it's black people that are doing it. Like, it happened to me the other day where somebody's like, oh, well, do you know this? It's like, well, yeah, well, do you know this? And they're like, and they couldn't say nothing else after. I'm like, no, because I'm really studying. If I can't get you right then and there, I'm going to make sure I've researched to the point where I will eventually be able to get you.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be in a point where you're educated and you just know. Not so much that I want to make you look stupid, because that's one thing that our people have, like, we like to make each other look stupid.
Yes.
I don't want to make you look stupid. I just want us to be on one simple playing field, unified, and understand the fight is not with each other, it's with the opposition.
It is.
The opposition is the enemy, not me and you. Like we both can go outside right now and be targeted by the police. We can go into a store right now and be racially profiled and follow around the store because we're black. We're automatically gonna steal.
Right.
Our schools are not going to give our children the education that they need, which is why a lot of people are now starting to homeschool more.
Right.
Shout out to all the homeschool parents.
Right.
Love you. But that's why a lot of us are doing it now, because now we're able to know the knowledge we need to teach ourselves. It doesn't have to be according to what they want us to know.
Yeah.
You can teach your offspring, like even if the change doesn't come with us, at least make it to where our offspring can bear some of that fruit and make it have a better chance of surviving when we're not here. You understand what I'm saying?
There is a man. He's not a guy. There is a Black man on social media. Do you know him? His name is The Conscious Lee.
Yes.
Okay, I have had the pleasure of speaking to him a couple of times. Wow. And that man, we even were talking about maybe doing a little collaborative effort. And he got busy, you know, he's because he does debate. Like, and my thing is, oh God, I'm not gonna cry, but he doesn't even know how much I look up to him because he is educated. Like when I tell you the man is educated, several master's degrees, and does the art of debate, comes with, you know, he always says research over me search. Like he talks about these issues and he fires like right back at them with education. And then it's like, then all of a sudden, once he does that, then all of a sudden, oh, you're a criminal. Oh, you did this. Oh, you're violent. No. We wasn't talking about that. We were talking about what was going on right here, right now. You were losing this argument. And then all of a sudden I'm a criminal, you know? And I just, but you are right. Like he pushes that narrative too, that we need to do our research. We need to be informed, because the more of us, like you said, the more of us that are informed, the group we can form and we can be responsible. And you know what's sad? Because we are the only race that has yet to really unify, be given the permission or taken the right to unify. They killed Martin Luther King Jr. Yes. He was doing that. They killed Malcolm X. They killed these men that were into unification of the Black, you know, culture and people. They killed them.
Right.
And anybody who tried to help them.
Yes.
And it's like, come on, y'all. We have to, and I love him especially because he is a heterosexual man, so secure in himself. He's got a wife, children, and he defends gays, transgenders, transvestites. Like when you started speaking about education, he popped right into my head because I was just like, we need an army of him. Like we need more like him, you know, like we need more like him, because they can't get around that brain. They can't get around that brain. You're absolutely right. That education, they can't get around that brain. They say all kinds of stuff. They try to draw so much diversion tactics and activity to what's over here and what's over here and what's over, and he like, no. He directs that shit right on back. No. Here's the needle. No. Right on back. So anyway, I want you to do me a favor. Tell these people, because we have talked, where can they find you online?
Okay, so you guys can find me
I love the accent.
Instagram.
I love the accent.
You guys can find me on Instagram at the Tiara Latrese Show. Okay. You can find me on Twitter, but I really don't go on there, but it's Tiara_Latrese. I mean, I like Twitter. Twitter's great. Shout out to you all, but
I only use it
I just don't use like that, but you can go there if you want. But
I said I use it for the porn.
There you go. See?
Deleted my other Twitter. I like, look, I'm gonna make me a porn. It's just all porn. Keep going. What's your YouTube?
Okay, the YouTube channel is the Tiara Latrese Show.
What's the podcast?
The podcast is, the videos are also on that channel, but the podcast, you guys can search it on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. It's Alien Gang Podcast with Tiara Latrese.
Do me a favor. When we get done, send me all the links. And I want people to understand something. I want them to know you help me so much when I'm behind the scenes and I need a video or I need to grab something and I need a converter for my videos because movies don't work. I got to convert to MP4. I'm like, I'm texting you. Can you help me? And you've never said no. You like, I got you, Queen.
I can't say no.
Yeah, you like, I got you, Queen, and you always come through. You always come through. I am so glad that this interview went the way that it did.
Me too.
It just truly is a blessing to be able to give you your flowers. I had to tell. I was like, she didn't even know I was going to kill myself. Like, and I mean, I was serious. I had a plan. Like, I had it all. And that's sad. You know, I don't make light of that because there are people in the world that actually go through with it. But I know what it's like to be in that kind of despair, you know?
Right.
So anyway, closing thoughts. Do you have any closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are, you know what? I'll just do this from the heart so you guys can really get a hint of who I am.
Yes.
Do not allow the mistakes of yesterday to hinder your blessings of today. Love yourself first. And whatever your dream is, whether it's to be a podcaster, a content creator, actor, actress, singer, artist, whatever it is, even if it doesn't go the way you want it to go, make sure you establish your true identity first and then go full throttle. The people that need to gravitate towards you will. It's a process, but just trust that process and trust yourself and know that whatever is for you is destined. It's never a question. If you got to make some changes today, make them. Because if you woke up and you were breathing today, that's a chance for you to do something right. But never give up on yourself, no matter how rocky the road gets or how many mistakes or F-ups you make. That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to reintroduce you to Miss Tiara Latrese.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Say bye. Don't go nowhere, but I'm going to stop the recording.
Gotcha. Bye, y'all.